This is a Visual Studio project that I have completed, and these are the various parts. Let us have a look at them. This is a project, and I have added one page index.cs HTML and one backing class for index.cs HTML.cs. Let us double click it and run it first to see how it looks. This is a part of a bigger project that we have been discussing. We discussed about the text box, about checkbox, about radio buttons, and now is the time to discuss about our drop down list. This drop down list has 4 items: select, Tokyo, Paris, Ankara, and all that, and we will learn how to show this in a project. So I'll close this. A drop down list has a collection of items, and each item has two properties. One is the text property, the visible text, and the other is the value property. This value property is the property that is ultimately stored and saved into a database. In ASP.NET Core, you can create these drop-down items by an object called select list item. Select list item. This has two properties, text and value. So to populate our drop-down list, we need to have a collection of select list items. So if I write code, then you can have a look at it briefly. We can write, for example, where collection list is equal to new list of select list item, and then to this list we can add items one by one. These items can be done by querying a database, by reading a file also, maybe like an XML file or a JSON file where we have already defined certain lists, certain properties, and this can even be hard coded. So if we were to add to this, we will say l.add new select list item and set its properties. Text is equal to, let us say, Tokyo. Value is equal to, let us say, maybe TKO, and like this we complete the whole list by adding items of the type select list item. Now how is this attached to a drop down list? In the Razor page, we can write select tag like this. Select, the property that you must set is ASP items is equal to at, and if this list is called L, at L, and then some other properties, and close it. And this will don't close it, but rather write it like this. So select ASP items is equal to at the list and other properties. For example, maybe you can add required and other properties, whatever you want to add, and then finally close the select side by side. This is how we do it. Now when you run the project, and in that case you will see the entire list populated. Now one question is how to, now if I have a list, then you usually see that the first item in a drop down is like this, select. So how is this done? This is select first item is usually a select list item with the text value of select. This is the text value, and its value is kept empty. And when you write that select tag, there a required attribute is set. A required attribute is set so that if this is selected and the form is submitted, then this empty value and this required attribute, they cause client side validation to fire. So if you want to have a look at how it works, let me show you once again. Start debugging. So now I will fill other items. maybe tick mark superior. And now when I keep this select and submit it, a client side validation will fire. It is because this is select, it has been given a value of empty. Now I will show you the code for this. It's about what I have already discussed. So this is the page directive, the namespace, the backing class, the tag helpers. Now this is important. It is because of this your select list, it actually operates. It gets connected to the collection. And in this case we have created a collection on the same page. Locations is equal to new select list item, new select list item, select. Look, this is empty. Tokyo, TYO, Paris and Ankara and all that. And once this list is with you, the other parts I'm not showing. Now this is the form, and inside this form somewhere we have this select ASP for is prod.item